What's up? What's up? What's going on, good people out there? Tap in, tune in, check in. Tonight is the night that we have this conversation. It's one conversation at a time. And I have a special guest on with me, Marvin Horn. And basically we're gonna talk about all the things that has to do with the finances in our community. So I brought somebody on that has the experience with it, and I'm not gonna run down the line on his bio. So I just introduce him to y'all. Marvin Horn, go ahead and tell the people about yourself.
Thanks, Dom. How are you, man? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just appreciate you coming on, man, and sitting down and having this conversation with me, man, and with the people, just letting the people know what's going on with finances, how they can build and everything like that, just giving us some advice, the expertise that we need, because they say our people suffer for lack of knowledge.
There it is. And that's the biggest thing, Dom, is just a lack of knowledge, and just the fact that we are born, and some of us, most of us, I'd say, I'll use that analogy again, 99% of us are born into families that, my family, we never owned a home. We never had savings. So I heard the words, money doesn't grow on trees, or you got to work hard for your money. And you got, all these things that kind of put a stigmatism on your brain as a young youth. And where we come from, and the dirt we come from is like, we're just young kids just trying to just find our way and understand. So we're looking at our parents and their financial struggles. So most likely, either we're going to go in the direction of higher education, or we're going to get into, like what I did. I ended up getting my real estate license, and that's how I got into the finance world. I've been a licensed realtor for about 15 years. But as soon as I got out of high school, I was bird dogging for investors and finding them properties and, making $4,000 or $5,000 off of the transaction. And I was like, man, where you can't make this on a job, and maybe I was doing 2 or 3 deals a month, as a 21-year-old kid, but also with aspirations of playing professional baseball, which I did. I accomplished a lot of things. So I've been around a lot of money, and I would say my mentality of growing up with all of those instances, Dom, it was like, I had to shake a poverty mentality. I'll say that.
I just appreciate, you sharing that, because a lot of time it's the mentality that we have. And that mentality right there is just, we struggle with that because we don't grow up in those type of environments, like you're saying, where we have money. So, it's just one of those things, man, where somebody who has that understanding and that knowledge, we need to sit with those people and get that understanding. So, I just want to ask you a couple questions, man, so you can share with the people. My first question, so how can we benefit from financial advice?
The biggest thing I would say is that is kind of like being book smart, and it's a difference between being book smart and street smart. Street smarts will get you through in one situation. Book smart is what they say you hide, and like you said earlier, Dom, you hide information in a book. That's the best way to keep it from anybody, not just one race, but everybody. Because as we see, as the last 4 years, and not getting political, but if you're not really informed, you really don't know what's going on. And the one thing, and I don't think people will hate me for saying this, Donald Trump, terrible character. But does he understand business and how to get around things to keep his wealth? That man definitely does. So when you get the benefit of financial advice, you're able to, you're able to boost your family's worth a lot faster than just kind of freestyling. You don't know how to save. You don't know where to put money. You don't know how to invest in your future self. That's the biggest thing, because us, as we discussed in the beginning, it's us as kids, we don't understand that. We just see our parents working 18-hour days, and we got a key around our neck. I know you remember the latchkey kid.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So the advice that I kind of give people is be hands-on in your advancement of self and your financial self, because you can read all the books you can, but if you're not really putting these things into play or practice,
Right.
you're never going to grow that legacy that everybody says they want to build a legacy, you know. But how are you a legacy builder and you don't even save, you know? Or how can you be a legacy builder and you only have about $50 of $50 a month left over, and that has to go into credit card debt, and it has to go into other things that keep you from saving. So, you know, my advice would always be to free yourself up financially, not to put so much in regards to, you know, credit is good, but if you use credit the right way, but putting yourself in a position to know that if you put yourself into something like life insurance, or, you know, you can build wealth off of life insurance, you can build wealth off of flipping properties, but you just really have to have the know-how.
Exactly. Exactly, Marvin. And you touched on it right there with that point, because a lot of us, you know, we don't want to have those take advice, sort of say, you know what I'm saying? And all advice is not good advice, but when you have advice from somebody that's going to help you to get to another level, then you should go on ahead and just take that advice, you know? But a lot of people don't want to take that advice and sit up under somebody that's going to help them better themselves.
And it's funny, Dom, because that's one of the things that, you know, becoming an author and just really delving into positivity and the power of the mind and spirituality, that's ego, man. You know, like an ego will have you thinking you're doing the right thing and it's all the way wrong, you know. And that's the thing that we live from, because we kind of you know, we kind of live from if we look good, everybody will think, you know.
Right. The outer appearance.
Yeah. So it's
the outer appearance. And sometimes, you know, you can have on $300 shoes, they say, and no money in the bank. You know, it's like we invest in the wrong things sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when I see people lined up for Jordans, you know, don't get me wrong, I like Michael Jordan shoes too, Marv, you know, but is that going to benefit me in the long run? You know, so we have to make those choices, those right choices when it comes to our finances, and getting that good advice from somebody that could actually help us out with those finances. So I appreciate you, you know, giving us that information about financial advice and everything. And I was a latchkey kid, man. My mom worked 2 jobs.
Right.
And my brother and I, you know, I had to get my own key because he might not have came home on time.
Right. Right. And God forbid if you lose that key, brother. God forbid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know, with that being said, man, I just want to ask you this, because this is a thing that's going on right now with people. You know, I see a lot of this on TV, a lot of this on like the internet and everything like that. And what do you think about the Bitcoin investment versus other investments?
Man, I'll tell you this, man, and it's just like everything else in life. I was approached about Bitcoin in 2000, and I would say 2005, before my first son was born. 2006, I was introduced to the concept of Bitcoin, and guess how much they were selling it for at that time, Don?
On the low?
$13, brother.
Wow.
And I was so skeptical about that investment that between that, Google, and Yahoo, I've kicked myself in Starbucks. I've kicked myself in the butt because I'm an active trader. So for me to not see those and those that life was moving in that direction, and understanding that digital currency is the next move, and that put me in the right place, because now I'm very I'm not very astute, but I've learned about it, and I will recommend the Dogecoin. That's another currency of that nature, and I'm seeing how volatile it is. And like I said, if I would have bought it at $13, you best believe I would have
right now.
Right, I would have tattooed that password on my head. They would have never. Everybody would have known what that was. But it's like, man, I mean, it's exciting because we're living in a great time, Dom. We're living in a time where money is about to be obsolete. and how you invest is really not about like the actual market. It's about just the surge of who believes in that product, and the thing about Bitcoin is that's so amazing is kind of giving value to currency, because the dollar really has no value. If you want to really break it down, the dollar is just not anymore, man, because if you look at it, and you can get biblical, if you look at all the richest men in the Bible, they had gold. So their wealth was actually solidified by the currency that they had, gold. So they would have always had all the world's economy wouldn't even have mattered to the basis of what the reality of the value of the gold that these gentlemen they possess. So us knowing that we're so far away from real currency, and I had to learn from friends of mine, and they were buying silver, they were buying diamonds, they were buying gold bars, they were turning silver into bars that looked like dollar bills, and that but it was like, wow, what is that? It was like, well, you always want to keep something that's really solid in the market. So gold, silver, those type of things. But the other type of investments, like I'm an options trader, so I don't really do market type like in stocks. I do derivatives, so I always get more bang for my buck. When I trade anything, and I'm usually a seller. I'm not a buyer. I'm usually a seller. So I don't own things for a long time. I'm trying to get rid of things as soon as possible. And just in case anyone's taking notes, look at calls, puts, option strategies, and you'll see it's a bigger market out there with less money to play in.
That's good. That's great information, man. And a lot of us, we have to get this information in because sometimes, like I see the Bitcoin thing right now, and sometimes I'm like, because there's so many of them, that I'm like, which one do I pick? Which one is the right option?
Yeah, and it's really now it's like it's up to you, but it's just like you want something because there's so many like intricacies to Bitcoin and mining, and I mean it's so many ways that you can make money, you can generate capital with Bitcoin. It's just really having a wallet that can handle the investment that you make, and that's the funny part about it is like it's not even going to be a wallet in your pocket anymore. It's like a digital place that holds your money. And it's funny because a lot of the things that people don't get, like I'm looking at ingenuity. So hemp coin, like how people are going to be able to pay for medical marijuana and things like that. Like I'm looking for connections to where I know markets crossing like that. Like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Understood, man. And just that little bit of those nuggets that you're giving right there can change the way I actually look at how to go about Bitcoin. Because like I say, I've seen the thing on where it says wallets, and I seen, I get all the what's the one, Coinbase.
Yeah, Coinbase. Yep.
But I have to find out which one is right for me.
Yeah.
So I will be talking to you about that as well also. So,
yes,
I appreciate you talking about those investments and stuff, because we have to know how can we invest, what to invest in, what's the best options to invest in. I see a lot of people doing the Forex trading too. Mm-hmm. Is that sort of a good route to go in?
Forex it's a good route. It's just all based in your understanding, so everything that I do is, like I said, I don't hold on to anything. I'm a seller. Forex it's a faster paced play. It's like you really got to have your heartbeat on the market, and you got to be watching the market, because anything can go sour at any time. But it's just really like what's comfortable for you, and if you're a beginning investor, I would say TD Ameritrade, they have the best platform that you can do something called paper trading. Oh yeah, it's Thinkorswim. So you get TD Ameritrade, you get the app Thinkorswim. They'll give you about $150,000 to just paper trade, to understand. So don't put your own money at risk. But when you're dealing with things, and there's a lot of online classes right now. Like this is like really the trend of the market now is saying, okay, we're going to give people education on how to Forex and how to do that. You know, be careful with that, because the best education that you can get on investing is in education that you gain yourself. You know, you don't always want to have to pay someone to tell you how to do something. You know, you want to say, okay,
Right.
get some life experience, get some understanding, and then learn the mechanics, and then go out and find someone so you know if they're not ripping you off or not.
Understood, understood. So, you know, and I'm glad you're saying that, because, you know, we make those investments, and while we're making those investments, I think we're looking toward building a generational wealth. One of my questions is, you know, how can we start building generational wealth?
The biggest thing in building generational wealth is starting. that's just the key, you know, is having the discipline to say, I want this at a later date, and what am I going to do? What am I willing to do to get to that goal? You know, and saving is very it's a discipline. It's not something that's easy, even for myself, because I live very moderately. I mean, I live at a comfortable pace, but I live moderately within my means, and it took me a while to learn that. Once you have kids and you say, okay, wait, college is going to come up, high school is going to come up. You know, my son just got admitted to Sarah High School. That's $20,000 a year. You know, so it's just like, whoa, you know, these things are going to start coming. So the sooner that you can produce assets for your family. There's things like I'm learning plans called the $1 Million Baby. You have a baby, and as soon as you have that baby, you get them a index universal life, or you get them some sort of universal life insurance plan, and you stack. I mean, you can stack $50 in that thing. By the time your baby is at retirement age, that kid will be worth maybe about $5 or $6 million, and you can put it in a trust and carry on the lineage of your family to where you'll always be able to replenish anything that's done through that's spent through a death benefit, your kid going to college. You'll always be paying yourself. So you'll be an independent banker. Your family will be pretty much a bank-owned entity, because you never have to go out and get any kind of loan from your kid never has to go out and get a school loan, because they can borrow from themselves. They never have to do that for a car, a home, and it's stuff that's untaxed later. So that's the biggest thing, is how do you build generational wealth, is putting things into putting monies into situations where they'll tax you now, but once you take it out and it's accumulated, IRS can't touch it. So you just have to know plays and plans that give you the opportunity to say, oh, money here, I can put money there, tax deferred, no tax at all. But the biggest thing is just surviving past inflation, because every year 3%, 4%. If your money can't outmatch that, you're in trouble.
Understood, understood. You know, and that's the thing. We have to start getting back to like building those things, like you're saying, for the next generation to come, and putting that nest egg away. Because, you know, I found, man, with me and my children, my son and my daughters, they're older now. You know, that time goes by fast, Mar.
Yes.
Before you know it, man, that time is gone. And it's like, what did I do to secure something for them, for the next generation? And so that's why I mostly I asked, you know, for you to come on and talk, because wisdom is wealth. And so if we're sharing this wealth with people and this knowledge, then they can't say that they don't know.
Right.
You know, it's just so they can get that understanding, you know, the understanding of how to build it. What direction should they go in? And, you know, I was reading a book by Rabbi Lopin. And it was basically said, "Thou shalt prosper." And it's a Jewish guy, and he basically was talking about how they the money is in their community. They live by these 10 commandments, Mark.
Yeah.
And they pass it down generation to generation to generation. You know, so that's why, you know, I have Jewish friends, man, and they make sure that their children are indoctrinated on how their money goes.
Yes.
and which direction they go in with their finances. So we have to get better with that. You know, we have to start sitting around, like we talked earlier. You said that you have some mentors and everything like that. It's okay for me to say, hey, Marv, I need you to mentor me in finances going this direction. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you're going to help somebody and help a brother and his family to get over, you know, because most people come from the same side of the tracks we do, Marv.
Yeah.
But they don't want to get that knowledge.
And that's when we talked about we talked about the ego. You know, it's like if you talking from the ego, you'll always believe that you know more than somebody that actually knows more than you. And it's like you'll never get out of poverty from a mindset there, man. So, you know, like I had to learn, like I'm not above these principles. I had to learn all this stuff myself by going out and bumping my head and thinking that money was something that I had to like struggle for and work hard for, when it's like, no, if you have a game plan and you have knowledge, you're gonna follow the tools.
Exactly. And that's the whole key right there, Marvin. You know, there's a game plan, because there's a reason why people are rich, because they follow the game plan. There's a reason why, you know, that money is passed down generation to generation, and we call it old money.
Yes.
Because they made sure that that generation to come and that next generation would have the finances to be able to survive. Mm-hmm. So it's about a point where we become that type of mindset and think like that for our generation and our communities. You know, because our community, man, we have some of the richest communities, but the dollar doesn't last long in our communities.
No. And it's unfortunate, you know, because it's just we have the strongest economic base in the world. Like our dollar should really move mountains. That's why I really appreciate a brother like Akon that takes his dollar, goes to a whole nother country and builds something to show like, okay, who's next? Like who else is going to talk about this $1 billion stuff? Who else is going to talk about how much longer can we talk about cars and Rolex watches and chains and women? What are we talking about to like build a new life for ourselves? Because it's all on us now. This last 4 years, if it didn't teach you like, hey, like you got to take control over your own financial destiny, if that didn't show you, then you want to be a sheep. You want to be led by the nose by whatever Democrat, Republican. You know, I don't.
It's the truth.
Yeah. And it's for me. I like I said, I don't want to get political. I don't trust either side, because both sides have an agenda. And it's not
definitely.
And it's not the betterment of, not say black, white, or anything. It's not for the benefit of the people. And I'm pro us. Yeah.
Right. The people are suffering because our school system shouldn't be that way if the finances are right. You know, I always talk about past generation, our ancestors, right? So our ancestors, they made sure and they pulled together that the next generations was going to be good. It just so happened that we come along and we tear it down. Because our school systems, you know, we don't teach finances in school. We don't teach banking or how to write a checkbook in school. You know, we're a big debt society.
Yes.
And we shouldn't have to be that way. You know, there's so much money within the inner city, but we're so me.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I get that. But if we take that money and we start building our community, building for the next generations, just think about the possibilities that can come. Because I drive down La Cienega sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have their own Jewish schools.
Yes. All neighborhood financed. Neighborhood financed.
And people don't pay that no attention. But if you look, they're teaching the next generations how to run, how to be a businessman, how to be a homeowner, how to, succeed, how to make sure your family's taken care of. They're indoctrinating the next generation on success.
Yes. And that's the word, man. It's like indoctrinated, because it's tough to indoctrinate. And like you said, like, when we were growing up, we had all the Jordans. This is just a remake of what we used to wear. And we had the originals.
Right.
We would go up to Jump after school, go grab the new Jordans or whatever. And but the indoctrination, some parents pass that on to their kids, to where their kids are materialistic capitalists that want to just buy, like you said. So it comes a time where, like, we have to teach our kids some values that show, like, okay, look, if I'm going to give you $20 a week to take out the trash, you best believe you putting something on your 7-Eleven or something. So if you teach them the value of $1, they're not going to spend it that easily. And then, that's so true. Yep. And in turn, when I look at my son's wallet, and my son's wallet is like super fat, and I'm like, dang, kid, like, how much you got in there? Well, I mean, you're giving us the money, and I don't spend too much. I don't, it's always great to hear. So that's the indoctrination of showing your kid how you operate. And I don't call myself a cheapskate by any means. I just think I'm frugal in my understanding, and I have a future goal. I have a goal beyond today.
No, serious. And that's what we have to get back to, man. We have to have a goal beyond today, because if we think about it, man, they say that 65 is the age of retirement. But at the rate that we're going in right now, it's going to be 75.
Yeah. It's sad, man. It's real.
So what are we saving? We have to start saving and start changing our mindset towards those type of things, because if we don't, man, we're gonna plan to fail.
Yeah. And that's the biggest reason why I got into this business, because it was like, how can I say, and it's we'll hit the word again, ego. I don't want to approach people. I don't want to get into people's business about their finances. Who am I to? I'm definitely the guy, because I know my voice is strong. And I say, and this is no fronting or trying to show, but unfortunately, I know I've had more than $1 million through my lifetime go through my hands. Do I have that to show for it? No, and I'm knocking myself upside the head, because as a consumer, $1 million I know $1 million has flowed through my hands. I know it. So for me to say from here on out, okay, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to make sure that my kids know what the mistakes that I made, and correcting those immediately. So it's like, it gives me a passion, man. It's a crusade to go out and help whoever needs help out there. And that's what we do. We give a free financial diagnostic, really give you an understanding of where you can cut your savings, where you can add more, what bills you can probably trim down, trim the fat, and how you can get out of the rat race.
And that's, you hit the nail on the head. It's a rat race, Marv, because we're constantly running to make the ends meet. You remember, Mama used to always say, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Hey, Paul, man.
Come on.
I always used to say, man, I'm going to beat Paul's butt. I'm going to beat Paul up when I find him.
He got all the money,
Right.
But we shouldn't have to do that, man. It should be some kind of way that, like you said, sit down, take the financial advice. Sometimes, Mark, it's the, like you say, ego. I don't want you all in my personal business about my finances. When all you trying to do is help somebody along that path. And it's not like, I'm quite sure you don't go and you help them along with the plan, right? Sit them down, talk to them about the plan, and write out the plan and make it plain for them. But I have to let go of the insecurities of somebody else knowing my financial business.
Yes. And that's the biggest thing, man. It's like walking into a room with no underwear on. It's like
Right.
nobody wants to do it, but if it was $1 million on the line, trust me, it's gonna be a lot of people like the man in the Super Bowl. They're gonna be running crazy and because they said Homeboy made 340 for that stunt.
Yeah, just for that. Just for
right.
that.
So he put on a bikini up his bottom and all kind of stuff. So, wait, before we keep going on, I want to say hi to Dana, hi to Stachelle, hi Brene. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being in the chat. And if you guys have any questions, please put anything in the chat.
Feel free. Yeah, see, this is what it's all about, Marv. It's just, that's why I call it one conversation at a time. It's just an open conversation where we give our open information.
Yeah.
If it's out there, either you could take it or you don't take it.
Right.
But the information is given.
Yeah.
That old saying we used to say, the game is to be sold, not told.
Not told, man. But not everybody understands the rules, bro. They don't understand the rules.
Right. But if it's given out and it's free, why not sit down at the table and eat it?
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with pulling up a chair to the table and getting this information. I used to go to my son's practice, right? He had a football coach named Derek Benton. And he used to always say, teaching is repeating until learning takes place. Mm-hmm. Now, I took that to heart.
Yeah.
I think more than they did.
Yeah.
Because I had to understand, like, wow. So we got to keep teaching this more and repeating it until somebody learns that, hey, you need that financial advice. Mm-hmm. Because we didn't grow up in a home where somebody sat us down and said, this is how you check checks and balances.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. And it's funny because even just in schooling, and I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing college. I'm not bashing higher learning, as they would call it. But when you look at it and you look at the fundamentals of life that you're taught in college, you're not really taught. You're taught how to. It's tough to say critical thinking because sometimes you're so reliant on that book that you don't even want to move. You just want to stay linear. But it's not teaching us principles to compound and multiply ourselves as people. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of teaching us to be workers. It's teaching us to have this skill set and then sit up under someone else that will benefit off of our skill set. Once I understood that that's not what I wanted to do. And I mean, I worked in the entertainment industry. I worked at Sony, and I mean, there's a lot of perks, but when you got to go and slave and just go every single day and knowing that there's no bottom line, it hurt me because I know there was more to life for me. Not everybody's like that. Like Dom, you're sitting here and you're doing something big that a lot of people won't even have the nerve to go out and say, I'm just going to do a show. So heck yeah, you call me, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But you're here. I appreciate you. Because it's like, this is something that even if there's 10 viewers on here, hopefully 10 people got something out of this that, changes their whole perspective. And then from that point on, you say, okay, I'm building from here. And you can still build $1 million portfolio. You can still get $1 million home. You can still live the life you want, even if you're 50, 60. It's just starting today.
Right. And the crazy thing, Marv, is our community, we don't want to have a financial advisor. But when them dudes on them videos and they holding them racks, they have financial advisors.
Yes.
People don't realize that they have somebody in that corner advising them about their money.
Yeah, man.
But all I want to do is hold the racks, though.
Man.
But you gotta have somebody to help you out with those finances.
The funny part you just made, and this is I sat down with my kids, man, and one day I'm reading something, man, and I'm reading about, I think it was Jeezy or somebody, and I rolled past the sentence that said, yeah, and he has a daughter at Yale. And I'm like, hold up. I went back. He has a daughter at Yale, and I read it again. I'm like, so this dude is pumping. And I mean, Jeezy, I mean, from what I hear, one of the realest cats. I've never heard a bad thing about Jeezy. Heard he's like for the community and all that. But when cats be pumping that trap and this and that, but you're able to take your daughter to a school of higher learning to the extent of Yale, and you have people in your ear that are doing that for you. Hey, brother, why don't you pump some of that out of your music and tell us the recipe on that? You know, and it's like that's the thing. It's like we as a culture, we've been programmed to destroy ourselves financially through the music we listen to, and I listen to it too, but I just know it's a story to tell. It's not like something that I just get pumped up or whatever. I just know it's a great movie that's on music with a beat, and I leave it alone. But these brothers like Jay-Z, man, I cried, man, when I watched the Entrepreneur video with him and Pharrell. You know, it's like we need brothers like that putting out, making them the hero. And it's funny because in that video, I knew about 4 of those business owners that were in that video. And it made me emotional because it's like nobody knows the pain it is to be an entrepreneur, but the pride that's in it as well.
Yeah, you know, and if you're starting, and most people, if like you say, if there's maybe 10 people, how many other people watching this? If you're going to start a business, you're going to need financial advice. You know, because business don't start out and boom, you just off and running, and you in the what's the red?
Right. No, you're not running in the black, brother. You're in the red for a long time, and I got other businesses that still got me in the red.
Right. So, you know, we have to sit down and take that time and understand, you know, how money moves. How it's monopoly, right?
Yeah.
We all play monopoly.
Yeah.
Some people didn't get that though, Marv. You know,
let me show you something.
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Some people
that's how we doing it in this house, man.
you gotta learn it, man. And I learned that monopoly early. It wasn't just a board game. It's actually the game of life.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, but they made it to where, you know, because if you don't own that property, you got to pay rent.
Yep.
You know, if you do the wrong thing, you're going to jail.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you just working a job, every time you pass go, you collect $200.
Right. They said tax time.
Right. So we have to get to the understanding, man, of how do we really grow our money? Because money can grow, and I know you have the expertise on that as well, you know. And I most definitely am gonna have you back on here, Marv, because you know this is good information, man. And you know we have to get back to that the money part of it, so that way our community can continue to grow. Because like we all know the Oklahoma Black Wall Street, they were thriving because of the businesses and the money. A lot of them understood the dollar.
Yeah.
So we have to get back to doing those type of things, man. You know, because
it's big because now is the time, because like with technology the way it is and information being so accessible, it's no excuse, man. It's just really people having the wherewithal to say, you know, I want something different in my life. And like and a lot of people have they have the mentality fake it till you make it. You know, it's not really that's not the right way to go about it anymore. That's not even a positive affirmation to fake something until you make it. It's really saying let's have an intention and let's create it. You know what I'm saying? Like have a game plan. Like have a game plan of how we're gonna go from A to B, and not just, you know, by the seat of our pants, because it's not working to this point, you know. And for me to be almost 50, I'm 47 years old. I'll be 47 this year, and to really,
I'm right behind you, Mark.
Yeah. So you know, because you were what 91 or 90? You were 93.
Yes.
Yep, 93. So yeah, so you're a year behind me, but just the fact that you're here, like we're here right now, and you have this conversation going on in your head, you're actually going to attract all of these things to you. Because ever since I changed my mind and said, you know what, I knew from a young age that I was going to be a billionaire. I knew it. I knew it because I would say that before people were even talking about billions. I was saying, like, what's bigger than a million? You know, to where my mom,
Right.
like, boy, shut up and go take this Ritalin, boy. You don't know what the heck you talking about. You know, so
Right.
it's just like for me to know, like, it's accessible, especially through the financial service industry, the industry that I'm in now. And I mean, it's part of my real estate. I'm still in real estate, but I want the lifestyle to be able to dress like this whenever I want, because we from the hood, man. We not we not really suit and tie dudes, you know, but money gives you a freedom. Money gives you a lifestyle, and people are more trying to attract this instead of attracting the lifestyle that they want. And it doesn't always have to be flossy. It could be, I want to be a huge giver. You know, I want to give half of my money away to charity and live off the other half, but God's going to bless you abundantly if you're doing things for the better of other people. You know what I'm saying? So what you're doing here, Dom, is like all you're doing is attracting blessings and people that are going to come to you and be like, I trust Dom because he's willing to put himself out there and get the information going.
Right. Now, I appreciate that. And like you said, though, Mark, it's the mindset. I had to change my mindset and say, look, man, I have to do something different. We have to do something different, you know? And of course, I'm like, I know brothers that's doing excellent, man. And I would love to just showcase these brothers, you know, because we're all not doing something negative.
Right.
You know, I know some positive brothers. So I said, why not just go ahead and make a platform and have these brothers come on and display what they do, how they do it. And it can benefit the community, benefit the people, and it can show us a way. Because, you know, we've been lacking in certain areas. A lot of people have been saying things about it, but nobody is really making that move on it, Marv. You know, and it's about time that we start taking these things and start moving on them. Because it should be a school where you go into and you teach finances to the first graders all the way up to the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
And it's funny it's funny you're saying that, because that's the curriculum that I'm working on right now, is really to get this information to the youth. You know, us older folks, we need it as to certify and solidify our future. But for the kids, this is the seed, you know, that as you say, plant a seed and watch it grow. So we can get this into the first and second graders and give them an understanding. Like when I first learned how to trade, I learned how to trade at 25 years old, and it opened up a whole, I was writing down compound interest equations. Like, okay, so if I can make 20% off of my money every single month, I can have $1 million by this date. Like once I started thinking like that, I understood, like, this is possible. All I have to do is know what to do with the income, you know? So It's just really like you're doing, man, giving people a platform where they can come out, speak their truth, you know, give positivity to the word, but give the information to know, like John Emerson saying, how can we get to the green? You know, that's always the biggest question, but how we get to the green is understanding that money does nothing without us. Money has no use without us. Like, unless that picture back there couldn't have been made or anything, nothing happens until we move it. Money's just sitting in our pocket, it's sitting in our bank accounts. It has no use until we know, like, okay, look, here's my idea. Now things attract to us, but that's the biggest principle that people miss, because they're trying to climb the ladder to get the money,
Right.
It's from here first, you know. So my biggest thing of advice would be, start from here, start from the heart, you know, start with being a better giver, you know, start with being somebody that's just not selfish and always trying to just for him, me, her. But okay, what can I do to improve my community? What can I do to sow a seed in this young man's life, this young lady's life? And you'll see the green will come to you, the opportunities, and then you'll just see, like, everything that you do, it'll have a dollar coming right to you. You won't even have to stress over money. You'll just have to worry about what you do about it, what you do with it in the future.
Right. Like I say, you know, you don't say a lot about the things you do, Marv, but I see the things, you know, when you're going out and you helping feed people, man. You know what I'm saying? You down with the children, doing the ball. And most people wouldn't even. Only people who know you one of the best ball players that come out of the South Bay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I try to keep that on the low, man, because then they'll have me out there coaching and doing all kind of.
Right. But you're humble. See, my thing is to talk to humble brothers. You know, like you said before, that ego, because that ego will mess up the building.
Yeah.
You know, so with you being as humble as you are and you willing to sit down, man, and you said, Dom, don't worry about nothing, man. I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? That has a lot of weight, man. A lot of weight. Just for you to come on here just to this and just talk to us and everything, man, and just give us this great information, man. I really appreciate you, Marv. And nothing but blessings to you, man. And I know you're a giver, man. I see it all the time. And I also see that you do the I am affirmations, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
So I have a book. Yeah, I have a book. I am 52 Powerful Principles to Awaken Personal Growth and Self-Improvement. I have that book. So my whole platform is I am. So anything that you put after I am, you have to be. So, you know, if you're going to be anything, be something positive, be something that's going to be uplifting to yourself, your family, the people that are watching you. And just, you know, just like I said, be a giver. Like this way. I'm put this cat right here. He's a giver. You know what I'm saying? And he's always been a great guy. So, you know, thank you, Dom. I appreciate you having me, my brother.
I appreciate you too, man, Marv. You know, and before we go though, I just want to make sure if this is correct, man, where they could reach you at or contact you.
Yes, that's my Instagram handle. And that's as it says in the bio, it says business positivity. So, you know, just giving little tidbits here and there. If you guys need any help structuring any kind of plans, any kind of IRAs, 401k rollovers, anything like that, or just plain on just needing a diagnostic of financial needs analysis, just please feel free to hit me at Boss Moves with _ Marv Horn, and just inbox me, and any questions that I can answer, I can, and then I can also do, like I said, a free F&A for you, help you out and let you know where you need to save, what you need to cut, and hopefully help you in your future, help your future self.
I thank you very much for coming on, Marvin. This is Dom, and one conversation at a time, man. This is how we build. This is how we grow, and this is how we continue to move forward, man. I appreciate you, Marv, man. Nothing but love for you, man. Thank you for coming on, man. We'll be talking
much
again,
love,
Marv.
Dom. Respect. Huh?
All right, man. Yeah, you have a good one. We'll be talking again, man.
Yeah. Oh, no problem. Definitely, brother. Thank you.
All right,
Peace,
Marv.
bro.
You have a good night, brother.
You too.
Yeah.
I see you. I heard that.
You like that, baby?
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to feel like a proud mama taking pictures of photos. Okay. Did you say it?
Yes. Let me say.
Okay.
What's up, Marv? Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. That was beautiful, man. I'm telling you, man. I really do appreciate you to the utmost, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
All righty, man. I appreciate that. We will do that one, all right? And, man, anything you need, man, just let me know, Marv. Nothing but love, man. All right. All right, brother. Bye.
Yeah.
What's up?